Hey, it's Tommy, and in today's video, you're gonna discover the 7 daily habits of the hyper-successful. And here's why this matters. Because you and I, we can make our success as automatic as we can through habits. And I separate habits into 2 buckets. Habits that serve where I'm going and habits that don't serve where I'm going. So check out this video. We're gonna deep dive into the 7 daily habits of the hyper-successful so you can do the same. Pain is a gift. Sky's the limit. Welcome back to another video. My name's Tommy Baker again, and before we actually dive into the 7 habits, you should be asking, why does this matter? Why does this matter to you? Why is it so crucial? And I'm gonna tell you why in the form of a story. So a few years ago, I went to Costa Rica. I went to Nosara, Costa Rica. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. And I remember meeting a pilot down there, and she was the pilot of private planes, G5, big planes, big private planes, right? And I was just like, oh my God, this is incredible. I was like, I'm gonna ask her so many questions, and I'm gonna spend the whole time that we're out at this dinner with friends and random people that I met traveling, like ungluing my jaw from the table because I'm just gonna be in so much wonder and awe. I've always had a weird obsession with airplanes. Here's what happened. We get to talking, and I'm like a little kid in a candy store, and I'm asking about the planes and the pilot and all the stuff that she does, and she's like, you know what? I can tell you what you think you wanna hear, but the truth is, my job is kind of boring. You know, these planes operate on autopilot 98% of the time. You know, the only time I really have fun and get to play with them manually is during takeoff and landing, and then some other stuff in between. That's why you should care about habits. Because your habits today, the habits that you have right now, are your autopilot. And so they are going to some destination. And the only way that I really categorize habits in my life is, are these habits serving the destination that I'm going to, the goal, the target, the dream, the vision, or are they not serving? And if you and I can stack more habits automatically, that's the key, automatically, because right now you already have habits right now that are serving you, and you probably have habits that are not serving you. So if we can shift to more habits that are serving you powerfully in an automatic way, when I say automatic, that's the power of autopilot, right? That's you and I driving down the highway in our cars, and next thing we know, we're home, and we thought, oh my God, where have I been the last 30 minutes? I was daydreaming about my business and my boss and the things that I have to do and the content and relationships, and now I'm opening the garage to my apartment or my home, etc., etc. So that's the power of autopilot. It doesn't take willpower. It doesn't take decision fatigue. It doesn't drain our capacity. We just get up and we do the things. So enough of the pilot talk, enough of the success talk, but I wanted to share why it matters so much before we dive into the 7 daily habits. Let's get started. So the first habit is simple, just as you saw on the clock. Waking up early, owning your morning with a morning routine. Right now it's almost 5 o'clock in the morning here. You can see the sun is just barely rising out of its slumber. And this is the habit that is required for you time, for the time to work on yourself, for the time when the world is sleeping and you're up because you have a purpose and a mission that you don't want to sleep in for, you don't want to miss. And most importantly, this habit sets the tone for your day. And we've all had a day when we woke up and we were reactive and we were on email and we were stressed about bills or stressed about some problem, and it just made matters worse. And so when we start our days in a certain way, it's going to determine the rest of the day. So the first habit is what? All about waking up early and starting your day on your terms, not anybody else. So the next daily habit is to deepen and have a practice of intense and authentic gratitude. And notice the words that I'm using, intense. This is not about just being surface area grateful. This is about tapping deep into what you're really grateful for right now. So let me just give you an example. I'm here on this mountain. I don't know if you can see it, I have 2 legs that brought me up this mountain. I have a beating heart that is pumping thousands and thousands of gallons a minute, an hour, keeping me alive. I have the eyes to be able to see you right now. You and I, we woke up today. 150,000 people did not get to say the same thing. And so this is when we really deeply get to a place of gratitude that should start to move us emotionally. Like, that's when you know you're really tapping into this reservoir. And trust me, the best of the best, they're consistently reminding themselves of gratitude from a core place, not from like, I have this money and that money, and sure, that's fine to be grateful for external objects, but can you be grateful? Can you lower the bar of gratitude so low where it's like, wow, I made another day. Wow, for me, I live in the United States of America because I've lived in different parts of the world where I didn't have the same access. Wow, I have clean water, I have food, and the list goes on and on and on. So the next habit is simple. That's what I'm doing right now. It's why I'm breathing heavy. It's simply moving your physical body every single day. Now, why is this so important? Why is this so crucial? You've heard this before, but the fastest way to change your emotional state, by the way, I'm hiking right now, so just being careful, but the fastest way to change our emotional state is to change our physical state. And that's why it becomes non-negotiable. I don't train for vanity, although looking good is great. I teach people to train for power, to train for purpose, to train for clarity, to train to release the prior day's emotions. And here's what this does for you, without getting too sciencey. Training releases some of the most powerful chemicals in our brain, one of them called neurotropic brain-derived growth factor. Now let me say that again. Brain-derived neurotropic growth factor. I might have screwed that up. I know there's a lot of words in there. You can check out this book right here about it. But this simply means that you felt this, like you've gone into a workout or a training session, you're kind of sluggish, you weren't feeling like it, and then you went in and you were like, wow, I feel back inspired, I feel motivated, I celebrated a win. That's what physical training is all about. Keep this simple. You don't have to come on a hike like I am right now, although this is unbelievable. Go for walks, yoga, CrossFit, training, push-ups, like simplify the game and double down on your intensity. Okay, so the next daily habit of the hyper successful is they create space. And you may be thinking, create space, Tommy, what are you talking about, this create space? Creating space is crucial for elite performance. And I just call it creating space. And that can be meditation, that can be walks, restorative breaks, morning routines like we talked about earlier. It could be any of that, but just creating open space, solitude, space, time to think. So Sarah Blakely, she's one of the few or one of the first women billionaires. She runs Spanx. Her husband's Jesse Itzler. By the way, I had Itzler on my podcast. Check out this link right here. What she does, so there's a story about her office in Atlanta for Spanx, women's fashion brand that she owns. The office is 5 minutes away. And because she values space and thinking time so much, the story goes, at least what I've read online, that she'll drive around and create for herself a 45-minute commute. So she'll do like 6 laps or whatever it is on her 5-minute commute to think, to process, to be creative, to be with herself, be with her thoughts, reflect, all of this stuff that, we often don't do. So creating space, and actually me personally, one of my favorite ways of creating space, which you're actually about to see here, is sensory deprivation. These are float tanks. It's zero gravity. Now this is a little intense. You're in a tank for an hour. It takes a little bit of prep. I do these like once every couple weeks. But one of my favorite tools of creating space. And here's the truth, and I've said this before. If you don't create the space in your life to think, to reflect, to achieve the breakthrough, the creative idea, life is going to create space for you in some type of crisis, some type of urgent moment, some type of business breakdown, and that's no fun. Okay, so the next daily habit is simply spending time learning, studying, reading, empowering information, content, books, podcasts, maybe something like this that's going to open up and expand your mind in the morning to start your day, and hopefully more than just in the morning as you go on or about your day. And my preferred choice as a writer, I'm a writer, is reading. And most people say, Tommy, like reading, I just don't have time for that. And here's the challenge, and here's an insight, that 10 pages a day. So just think about that, 10 pages a day. How long does that take you? That's roughly 15 to 20 books a year. 15 to 20 books a year. So if you just do 10 pages a day as a habit, and that becomes your check mark, and you just do that, and whether it's content around lifestyle, personal development, entrepreneurship, growth, communication, sales, marketing, spirituality, that's gonna be the game changer. And so of course you can see a little bit in the background my bookshelf, but guys, there's so many great books. By the way, I have videos, and I will be doing videos on all different types of books, but I just chose these randomly, but there are so many great books. This one's a plug for mine. Yes, you can grab this link is below. This habit is non-negotiable. and the hyper successful, they create the time to learn from books, podcasts, events, seminars, anything to just expand your mind and get you in a state of possibility instead of negativity, like watching the news or just entertainment on social media, or wasting your time on stuff that's not actually empowering you. All right, so the next daily habit is embracing the power that comes with journaling. If you can see this, journaling will change your game. I have all types of journals, and guys, it hasn't been until about 2 years ago that I got really serious with journaling, and now it has transformed my life because I went so serious on it. And this is one of the things that the highest of performers, the highest leaders, the most impactful and grounded entrepreneurs and visionaries, they spend their time getting your thoughts out of your head, because we have 50, 60, sometimes 70,000 thoughts depending on the research in our head a day, and putting it onto paper. And so I'm gonna link a blog post below here on the different types of journaling, but sometimes it's just an emotional release when you're going through something difficult, putting pen to paper. Sometimes it's writing and crafting the vision for the life that you want to create. Sometimes you had an amazing experience and you want to ask yourself, can I deconstruct this? What were the ingredients that brought that to life? Because when you do that, you shift your awareness and then you create that again in the future. Now this one specifically, I'll also link this in the comments. This is the High Performance Planner by Brendon Burchard. Consider him one of my mentors, and just a great tool that has morning prompts, it has scheduling, it has gratitude, just a really great tool. But journaling will transform your game. It will give you a level of clarity, peace, inner peace, and freedom, so you can move forward and deconstruct both the great times and the challenging times, so you start to release and create some space between you and them. So the next daily habit is lifting others up, and I simply call this encouragement. And what I've noticed from having so many conversations with the best of the best is that deep down they are givers. And part of this is that when they're feeling lack, when they're feeling stressed or anxious or uncertain, they go from being selfish and just thinking about their own problems to giving and encouraging energy in others. And the way that this is done is simple. Send somebody a text today. Send somebody a messenger. Send somebody a DM. Send somebody an email. Send somebody a video message like this and say, hey, you're inspiring me. Hey, I love you. Hey, I appreciate who you are. And really be authentic about this, and do it with the people closest to us, because so often we just assume that they know how we feel, and we never know when it's too late to actually let them know. But also people from the past, people who may have hurt us or wronged us or broken up with or anything, and just say, hey, you're a part of my journey. I hope you're doing amazing. Thank you. And really it's about having this giving attitude. And so encouraging others, because when you lift somebody else up, you can't help but lift yourself up. And we've all experienced this when we gave something, we gave energy, we gave a smile, we gave a compliment, we gave something of value, and to us it made us feel so good. It was almost secretly selfish, because by being selfless, it gave us so much energy back. All right, guys, so I do have a bonus for you, because I love you. I'm not just gonna give you the bare bones. I'm gonna give you a bonus. Now this one is for the dedicated. This one is for the ones that want to start their day off with like a 6-shot espresso, but without the actual espresso. All right, guys, so going in right now. It's 40 degrees, give or take, so check it out. Okay, so what are some of the benefits of starting your day in a cold plunge? The science is incredible. What it does for your body, what it does for your mind. Like I was saying outside, it's like natural caffeine. So I know all of you may not have access to something like this, but any cold body of water, even a cold shower, is gonna give you not the same benefit, but something similar. And what this does for your mind, to start the day off challenging your mind, really changes the game. So guys, try it. I'm gonna go back in because my upper body I can't feel it right now, but it's okay. But I'll see you on the other side. Okay, that's a wrap with the 7 daily habits of the hyper successful. Plus, I gave you a little bonus for appreciation, one of my favorite habits, which is that ice bath, which really means just getting uncomfortable. But what did you get out of this? These weren't just picked randomly. These were done from my in the trenches coaching and consulting with so many people, having incredible visionaries and entrepreneurs on the podcast, studying and reading thousands of books on the topic, and I've distilled into the 7 plus the bonus, of course, daily habits. So what did you get out of this? I want you to post to the comments below. What did you get out of this, and what are you committed to doing? Remember, your habits are like autopilot. They're either working for you or working against you. By the way, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this if this connected with you. And I also have a free audio training experience called the Integration Experience, which is designed to get you hyper clear on where you're going, your North Star, and reverse engineer your process. And you can grab that in the link below or at resistaverageacademy.com. Signing off for today. I'll see you guys next time.